So today's video is by popular demand and something I anticipated happening over a year ago when we started developing this Veg Tan Leather. So this boot in front of me is over a year old of almost everyday use, whereas this boot on the left is a brand new pair, and yes, these happen to be the exact same leather. We've noticed a lot of requests and questions on channels like Reddit of who has experience of wearing this leather and what it looks like after a lot of use. So this pair has really been put through the ringer. I gave this to a friend of mine that works in the plumbing industry, and on his weekends he's adventuring in and around the bush. So he wore this pair every single day for the first 6 months for his plumbing job, and then obviously adventuring on the weekend. And after that he started wearing this pair every second day, and I'm really amazed at how this pair has come out, and you only really see this difference when comparing these two boots next to each other. So in today's video, what we're going to do is give you a bit more of a close-up to this pair of boots, talk about our Veg Tan leather, and then we're going to give it a saddle soap and polish with our new gym green leather balm, just to show you the results of what your pair will look like after a lot of abuse and wear. Some may be asking, how did we get to this boot? So what happened sometime early 23 is we set out to make the most expensive boot ever made in Africa. And what we did is we sourced some expensive leathers from the USA, we sourced some Vibram soles, and we put together a boot that just wouldn't be all that viable for us to manufacture. We then took that boot and then went and turned it into a 100% South African made and sourced boot and product. And this is what we've ended up with today, our Numzaan boot. We have got a couple of videos of us putting that most expensive boot together, and then a full breakdown of the Numzaan, which we'll put links to down below. You may be looking at these two boots and wondering that they're not the same, and that's because they aren't. When we put this boot together, we are still developing our frog grip sole, which can be found on the Numzaan, and we're still playing around with our upper design. At the same time, we're still playing around with our mini lug EVA sole. So this was one of the first variations that we came out with. And something to note, other than reviewing the leather of this boot, is how well this mini lug EVA sole is held together for a year of hard use and abuse. Now you can see the outsole is still holding up really great, and it's probably got a good couple of months left on it. And this obviously combines with the layer of EVA to give you that added comfort for a combination of a really rugged, long-lasting sole with some extra squish underfoot. Now onto the leather and how this boot eventually ended up looking like this. So to start, this is a Veg Tan Leather. So what our tannery has done here is they've taken a wet blue, which is 100% chrome tanned leather, and is then dyed to color and retanned with veg extract, which gives you this unique feel and look that we see here. Now as you can see on the new pair of boots, when I push down on it, it's quite firm and it's got quite a smooth texture to it, whereas this well-worn pair is extremely soft and subtle, and all the shine and gloss is worn off of it. Now the reason this has happened is because what the tannery has done here is that the final process is a hot plate is pressed down to bring the gloss levels up here, and it really brings out the oils and the shine in this leather. So this is actually an aniline leather with some pull up to it. So if you run your fingers through here, you can see how the oils move around, and with time and wear, this eventually scrapes off and you get this beautiful patina that is formed here. And I'm really interested to see how this boot looks once we've given it a bit of a cleanup and added a leather balm to nourish it back to life. I've read a few comments of customers that get their Numzaan boots and out the box they try and apply an oil or leather balm and say that it's not sinking in. And that is because of that hot plate that is pressed down to bring out the gloss and the oils that are used in the leather. So first out, you're not going to be able to apply anything to this leather that's going to be that effective, but rather as you wear the boots and this gloss level is scuffed off, you'll then be able to apply a leather balm, oils, which will then sink in and nourish the leather. Now these boots have been abused because that is what I've requested for. So once we apply this gym green leather balm, you're really going to see how it brings this leather back to life, and this patina is really going to change, and very interested to see how much of the original boot will come back to life. Now we're not going to bore you with a lengthy 20-minute video of how to clean this boot, but rather we're just going to give it a quick saddle soap and clean, let it dry for a good couple of hours, and then we're gonna apply the gym green leather balm so that you can see what your boots will look like treated this way. Now it's been a couple days since we gave this boot a polish with our leather balm. Now we didn't leave it for a couple days on purpose, it's just we haven't had time to get round to giving it another coat. But leaving it overnight just lets the leather balm sink in, and because this boot has been used and abused for over a year, we're going to give it another coat of leather balm, let it sink in, and then we're going to show you the final result of what our Veg Retan leather looks like after a year of use, and then after a good clean and polish. Okay, so we've just given this boot its second coat of our gym green leather balm, and you can already see how much the balm is bringing out some of the original colors in this walnut veg tan. What we're going to do now is leave this boot for another 24 hours for it to sink in, and let's go and see the results.